Good day, everyone, and thanks for joining us. But before we start with break from the herd or go to the butcher, we want to give you a little gift, okay? And that's this. I understand how much of an obstacle course it is out there right now to get yourself well, less trying to get your family well. So we've created what is called the Quick Start Guide. And all you have to do is just email us at quickstart@docofdetox.com, and that's it. So let's get started. Good day, everyone. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe, and welcome to Break from the Herd or Meet the Butcher. Part 1 is called A New World Vision, A New World Practitioner. Understand this: true health and real healing is much different than we've been taught. People are fed their health information by the food industry, which pays no attention to health, and are treated by the health industry, which pays no attention to food, and both of these are supposedly regulated by the government, which pays very little attention to both. Make no mistake, physicians and surgeons are the best there is for emergency care, but these guys do not practice real health care. Only nature heals. Hippocrates stated, "If you are not your own doctor, you are a fool." When it comes to medical health care, profits are generated by creating a society of chronic disease. You don't become the leading cause of death in North America for no reason. Taking personal responsibility for the health care of your body is regarded today as a rebellious act by those we have put into power. The truth about real health care is found in the teachings of Hippocrates, the father of medicine, and those like him. At one time, the medical system believed in the Hippocratic Oath, and today, all that's left is the hypocrite. When you dishonor your body, you dishonor your creator. Our healthcare does not need a revolution. Healthcare needs an evolution. Health and morality are very hard to find in this corporate climate. For healthcare to change, practitioners must change. For healthcare to evolve, practitioners must evolve, and for this to happen, we must grow consciously. Medical care is not health care. True health care is knowing how to totally care and love for oneself. As practitioners, the results of our successes should be measured by the success of our patients. The greatest medicine of all is to teach people how not to need medicine at all. It has been over 100 years of misinformation and disempowering therapy. Look, read Medical Mafia in the Doc of Detox library to get this full story, because you will find out that over 100 years ago, this is when manipulation of healthcare took over. Look at medical healthcare and natural healthcare professionals have placed themselves on a pedestal, making the majority of the population feel imprisoned by their body and its ability to self-heal. As a practitioner, to continually focus on treating is mistreatment. The word doctor means to teach. So the title doctor is actually a Latin-derived word referring to anyone who is recognized to have the acquired sufficient knowledge in a subject to be a teacher of that subject. So to prove my point, you can be a doctor of medicine, music, literature, and yes, natural health. We must become our own doctor when it comes to our body, but to do this, we must acquire sufficient knowledge in the art of honoring, respecting, protecting, and loving one's body in alignment with nature's laws, not man-made rules. To be a physician or surgeon does not mean you are a doctor in the true sense of the word, because, as I stated earlier, doctor means teacher. I truly believe that unless the patient wants to become their own practitioner in today's climate, their health will always be at risk. We have been ruled, schooled, and fooled when it comes to the potential healing of the human body. To restore the health of our civilization, the power to heal cannot be left in the hands of the few, but must be placed in the minds of the many. We cannot heal with the same mind that has created the sickness. So, this is why we must usher in a new era, a new world, one that empowers the unseen practitioner within each and every one of us. We were created to create, not mutate. Forget man's rules and reclaim your God-given right of universal law to unlimited healing. A New World practitioner recognizes that every human being has been gifted with the power to heal. A New World practitioner will focus on training their patient, client, not just treating them, because just treating them has led us to where we are today, the collapse of the healthy human race. A New World practitioner will search for the true root cause of illness, not just focus on the symptoms of their patient client, as most practitioners have been programmed to do. A New World practitioner will educate, enlighten, and empower, not overpower the patient client using fear tactics to make the sale. And I do mean make the sale. A New World practitioner will create the perfect day on an emotional and physical level for themselves, their family, and their patients and clients. Without an effective whole body approach, patient clients will continue only to have partial success. For a successful outcome, natural health practitioners must step outside the box of the so-called normal health practice that most have been unconsciously programmed for. Practitioners must continue to evolve if they wish human health to evolve, and this is what we call a New World practitioner. A New World practitioner does not practice alternative health. Let me make this perfectly clear. They practice traditional health, which is not man's way, but nature's way, because it's the only way. Whether you are already a health professional or have always wanted to become one, understand your potential is only limited by your beliefs that have been programmed by others who wish to rule you. From doctors to nurses to the general public, we all have the potential to be health professionals. Do not let limiting beliefs stop you from your passion and purpose. Look, our doors are open to all our brothers and sisters who want to take their power back. If you've always wanted to become a health professional, understand something. You do not need years and years of training. We already know that that program is not working and will never work. Come and experience our whole life coach certification and let it transform and expand your mind through total self-awareness, total self-empowerment, total self-care, and total self-love. We have created the most profound program with our whole life coach certification when it comes to rewiring the brain for permanent change, combined with the most powerful bodywork therapy to date, known as Wolfe Non-Surgical Deep Tissue Therapy. My team will teach, train, and guide you step by step how to make the impossible possible. Where other treatments and trainings end, ours just begins. I can't even imagine the tsunami of sickness we are facing if we do not learn to grow consciously. Because we can grow no other way. You cannot do better until you know better. To have things change, you must become that change. Let me ask you a question. With all the so-called medical breakthroughs and hundreds of thousands of natural health practitioners that practice in North America, why are we one of the sickest nations on the planet and headed towards our 5th extinction? 9 out of 10 people have chronic illness or disease today. What's wrong with this picture? 1 out of every 2 of your friends or family will experience cancer in their lifetime unless they awaken. 80% of the population is overweight or obese. 80% of the population is also pre-diabetic, and 92% of the population is experiencing an autoimmune disease at this very moment. What does this say about the majority of healthcare, whether medical or natural? It's not self-empowering because it's not self-care. It's healthcare. Unless we are teaching and training ourselves self-care, self-love, self-respect, and self-discipline, then I believe we are the root cause of the problem. If our current healthcare model is so effective, then why are our friends and families suffering so greatly? Because, I'll tell you why. Because cut, poison, and burn has been made to be the only option, and it's not. Before man, there was only nature. We must return to our roots. which is the healing power of Mother Nature. Understand, science is not going to save you. Understand the phrase, "this is a scientific breakthrough," does not mean it's a health breakthrough. If you continue to turn your back on Mother Nature for manipulation, you will never have the tools to thrive on this planet. Total healing is and only can be a personal take action experience if you wish to have it for a lifetime. The reason why there is no integrity in healthcare today is because the majority of people that are in healthcare have lost their way and their integrity without even knowing it. Until we know that we have been asleep, we can never awaken. A health practitioner can only give what he or she is. They cannot give what they are not. If we wish to see things different, then we must be different. The quality of the therapies and treatments given will always match the quality of the beliefs of the practitioner, and the quality of the treatments accepted by the patient or client will always match the love, honor, and respect they have for themselves. Every practitioner's ability to treat is and always will be limited to his or her beliefs. A New World practitioner understands that the only true growth is conscious growth, which has no limits. A New World practitioner will teach their patients, clients that they are worthy of total love, total forgiveness, and total healing. A New World practitioner completely understands how the emotional and the physical body affect each other for creating the perfect health for the perfect body. A New World practitioner understands that we must create new pathways in our brain, otherwise new belief systems, first and foremost, if permanent healing is to take place and stay in place. A New World practitioner understands the only true growth is conscious growth, because where the mind goes, the body must follow. All of our courses, certifications, and personal treatment and trainings are built around these self-empowering philosophies. Look, break free from this herd mentality and unleash your potential by rewiring your brain. Understand your brain is involved in everything you do, how you think, feel, act, and your habits are all controlled by your brain. Your brain is the organ of judgment and personality, but quality of its intelligence and decisions are based on the quality of the prominent beliefs stored within this reality map known as your subconscious. So where's your focus? Because where your focus goes, grows. Whether it's healthy or not does not matter to the subconscious. You must become conscious of this fact if you wish to take your health back, if you wish to take your power back. When your brain works right, you work right. When your brain does not work right, you won't work right either. To have success, you need a healthy brain. If you wish to change your reality, then you must change parts of your personality. Ask yourself this: do your beliefs support self-healing? Not healing, but self-healing. It's a well-known fact that a sick mind creates a sick body. But understand this: you're not sick. Your beliefs are, because they are not yours. Because why would you hurt yourself unless you were unknowingly programmed to do so? Unless you're willing to take an honest look at your personality, you will never change your reality. Do you believe deep down inside that you deserve to heal? If you have beliefs of unworthiness, all healing will only be temporary at best. Do you realize you have 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day? Do you also realize that you repeat 90% of these thoughts each and every day? Repeating thoughts is not the problem. Repeating negative thoughts is. With the majority of the population, 70% of their thoughts are negative. So if you take a look at the mental and physical state of the average man and woman, you will see that this holds true. Where do you think the word adulterated comes from? Welcome to the family curse. Understand, if you repeat something long enough and strong enough, no matter if it's good for you or not, it will be accepted by your subconscious as truth. Remember, your thoughts make and shape every part of you. So what creates your thoughts? I'll tell you. It's the perception you have of yourself and the rest of the world. Look, We were created by our Creator to create, and this is how this process works. Understand this. The process of creation can either work for you or against you, depending on if you are a conscious creator or an unconscious one. It is important to never forget, everything visible has been created by the invisible. Your thoughts are everything. You can't hold them in your hand, but know this. They are the blessing or the curse of your life. Depending on your thoughts, you will either have a negative or positive image about yourself. Remember, all creation starts with an image. First we have an image, then a thought, which creates an emotion, which creates a frequency, which will either create a positive or negative result. If your thoughts create a negative frequency or experience, it will cause the brain to trigger and release negative hormones and chemicals in the body called histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol. The short form of this is HAC, otherwise hack. Have you ever tried to hack something up that you couldn't digest? No one can digest fear, but I guarantee you this, if you do not master fear, it will master you. It will destroy you. Fear is a negative entity that lives within all of us. And if you continually feed it, it will feed on you until there is nothing left of you. Beliefs are living things, so understand this fact. Whatever you feed will only get bigger, so watch out what you're feeding because it may just eat you alive. Welcome to the herd. Welcome to a world where fear is the most experienced and promoted emotion. Remember, everything has a frequency, so watch out what you put out there. So now you know a thought is not just a thought, it's the conductor. So what happens when you create a positive thought, frequency, or experience? It triggers the brain to release positive hormones and chemicals like dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, which stand for dose. So, are you getting your daily dose of gentle, loving chemicals and hormones? Because guess what? They heal. They heal the body. To put it simply, positive emotions create the healing and negative emotions create the disease. Emotions of love can create a baby, and emotions of hate can create a tumor. There are only two master emotions, love or hate. So let's review the domino effect of all your creations. So, image creates thoughts, and thoughts create emotions, which create the experience, which creates the frequency that releases the chemicals and hormones from the chemist, which is your brain. The chemicals and hormones released by the brain create the physical matter. So choose your thoughts wisely, my friend, because as I said earlier, the invisible creates the physical. But what I should have said is everything physical has been created by the invisible. As Einstein stated, E equals mc squared, which means energy creates mass, or simply put, where the mind goes, the body must follow. So become a conscious creator. The conscious mind is the CEO in charge of creating all things new. It only lives in the present moment where all new thoughts and only true healing can take place. This is why people with chronic disease have chronic dysfunctional beliefs. And if they don't change the dysfunctional chronic beliefs, then they'll never get rid of their chronic disease. Your point of power can only be accessed in the present moment. The majority of the population are only in the present moment for 2 to 5% of each day. Unless we become conscious of the conscious mind, we will live life of continual struggle, doing everything else and being everyone else, because most of us have become a prisoner of the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind hates anything new, loves the past, and fears the future. Does this sound like anyone you know? So let's talk about the protector and the storage container of prominent programs, your subconscious. Welcome to the editor, otherwise the stubborn subconscious mind, where all prominent thoughts are stored and protected, whether good or bad. And just know this, the new ones are rejected. The subconscious mind hates the present moment, the future, and anything new, but loves to wallow in the past and play life's so-called failures over and over again like a broken record, making you feel like the life you're living is as good as it's going to get. Your subconscious does not care if you are creating a strategy to even save your life because it believes it's saving your life by stopping you from changing anything in your life. Look, if your wish is to change anything in your life, then you must master the art of repetition, along with taking massive personal action, because this is the only weapon against the stubborn subconscious mind. You will never fix a problem or heal a disease with the same mind that created it. This is law. Understand, unless you're willing to change parts of your personality, you will never create a new reality. Unless you change, nothing else changes. Now let's talk about the autopilot. The autopilot is known as the unconscious mind, which is 50 trillion cells that make up your body. This is where the saying, issues in your tissues, comes from. Most people do not realize that repetition is the art of mastering anything and everything. And any thought repeated and experienced enough will become a prominent thought within the subconscious, which then becomes a habit, which is infused in every cell of your body. Habits are carried out by the unconscious mind without any thought, like putting your pants on, brushing your hair, going to the bathroom, making coffee. You get the picture. Understand, your thoughts become experiences, and when experiences are repeated enough, they become habits, which are programs that become infused into all your cells. This is how habits are performed by the body on an unconscious level. Habits are never a problem unless they are creating negative issues in your tissues. How you perceive and process your emotions will decide the quality and the location of your blood, your emotional state of being, and the health of your tissues, joints, and organs. Remember, perception is everything. Healthcare or self-care, self-hate or self-love. There are only two emotions, love or hate. Understand this, perception always orchestrates chemistry, and that chemistry is orchestrated by your brain. When at peace, your body will be in a parasympathetic state, a state of love and healing. In this state, your body will be releasing a love potion of hormones and chemicals such as dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, which stand for your daily dose of self-love, drug vitamin L. When at war with oneself, otherwise in a state of fear, your body will be in what is known as a sympathetic state of fright, flight, and freeze, which is a habitual unconscious state of fear, doubt, and worry, which leads to all disease. In this state, your body will be continually releasing acidic hormones and chemicals such as histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol. Every time that you're in a sympathetic state, your body thinks you're being chased by a tiger. This sympathetic state of being occurred 3 times a month 75 years ago. This fight, flight, and fight response now occurs 17 times a day for most of the population. This state is caused by the illusionary fear that we are force-fed day in and day out by the media, medical system, corporations, and yes, even some religions who wish to control our bodies and own our minds. Being in a sympathetic state of fear creates inflammation, crystallization, internal scar tissue formation, displaced calcium, and mutations such as fibroids, adhesions, cysts, and tumors. Until you learn to become the master of your own mind, your body will be mastered and manipulated by others, and you will suffer life-threatening issues in your tissues throughout your whole life. Remember, where your mind goes, your body must follow without question. This is law. Until you awaken the inner power that lies within you, you will never realize that you have been unconsciously programmed to self-destruct. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the herd. Welcome to the harvest. When we finally awaken to the fact that all healing begins and ends with self-healing, and that it can only be turned on by total unconditional love for oneself, then and only then will we begin to heal our world. Understand this, love is not the answer, because if it was, we would be there already. Total self-love, total self-healing, total self-forgiveness is the law. Understand this. All diseases are physical blocks that begin as energy blocks. Otherwise, a negative emotion that could not be properly processed through the heart with love, so it becomes a trapped emotional issue caught in low integrity tissue. Look at, like attracts like. Understand this. Negative thoughts become issues in the tissues. This is where the equation E equals mc squared comes into play. Otherwise, energy creates mass. And in the case of negative energy, it creates mass destruction. Understand the physical body is the hardware and the emotional body is the software. Corrupted software infects the hardware. The visible is always created by the invisible. Energy creates mass. The medical system even calls an abnormal growth a mass. Go figure. Corrupted emotional energy creates corrupted tissues, otherwise dis-ease. In my opinion, the medical system is the definition of contradiction. On one hand, they refuse to look at the human body as an electromagnetic light energy body. Meanwhile, almost all their testing equipment is based on testing the electromagnetic light energy body, not the physical body. Go figure. The medical system is the reason why the majority of the population only focuses on less than 1% of what they truly are, that being the physical body. The day that you finally accept this scientific fact that the majority of what you are is a light energy body, first and foremost, you will set yourself free from the invisible belief system, otherwise BS, that has enslaved mankind for over a century. This enslavement is the dysfunctional belief system that life begins and ends and revolves only around the physical matter. This archaic way of thinking pulls our focus into the physical, when actually all disease, pain, and suffering is emotional first and foremost because we are energy light beings having a physical experience on this planet. Everything visible is created by the invisible. Your images, your thoughts, beliefs, and your perception of yourself and the world around you. You are the architect, so understand, where your focus goes, disease or vitality grows. A sick mind always comes before a sick body, with limiting dysfunctional beliefs being its main fuel. Every disease in the human body is first created by an emotional block before it becomes a physical block. When you're diagnosed with a disease, otherwise a chronic symptom, which is a physical block within the body, it always starts off as a trapped negative emotional block that cannot be properly processed due to subconscious limiting beliefs. This emotional block that has now transformed itself into a physical block will find its home in inflamed, low vibrational tissues, organs, or joints, creating a physical energy block that will disrupt the normal flow of blood, lymph, and energy. The amount of energy you have or don't have dictates your health or lack of it. We have all heard the saying, let go and go with the flow. Nowhere else is this statement more important than in the human body. The flow of your blood, lymph, and your energy system, which people call chi, aura, energy, or spirit, slows down with every physical block that you create. Look, let's compare this to a river. But in this river, we have beaver dams along the way. So it's only logical that the more dams in the river, the slower the flow, and the more congested and contaminated the river becomes as the pressure builds. So understand that resistance in the human body causes pressure, high blood pressure, arrhythmia, heart attacks, lung conditions, organ malfunction, headaches, constipation, pain, swelling, and cancer, just to mention a few. Blocked energy creates pressure. How's your blood pressure? Do you feel under pressure? Understand that when you have a disease, you don't have one block within your body. You have many blocks. Very few people will ever return to vital health because practitioners just don't get it. It's called whole body healing, not partial body healing. To focus on just the tumor, fibroid, joint problem, or just a part of the body is only part of the story. I want to thank you for joining me for part 1 of Break from the Herd or Meet the Butcher. I'll see you in part 2 of Break from the Herd or Meet the Butcher. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Look, we understand what it's like out there. It's an obstacle course, just trying to get yourself well and then trying to get your family well. So what we've done is we've created what is called a Quick Start Guide. And all you have to do is email us at quickstart@docofdetox.com. And we won't just get you started. We will show you gentle, baby, loving steps on how you can put this all together so that you can create a legacy of health for not just your family, but for yourself. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.